The sun is setting. I am once again racing against time. I seem to have forgotten that it is the deep, dark, dreary winters, and we do not have more than a few hours of sunlight. And as I speak, I can literally watch the sun going down beyond the buildings because I live in a concrete jungle and all I have are buildings. So while we lose the rest of daylight, I thought we could do a little bookshelf organization. I wouldn't call it reorganization per se because I recently did reorganize these shelves. We had the walls of our house repainted, and during that time, the bookshelf was emptied and moved. And because I did not remember exactly where each book went, I had to do it all over again, more or less. I did have some pictures to go off of, so that was a relief. But I have some new books that I haven't put on the shelf yet, and there are a couple of books that I took out for reading, but I need to put those back. So we could get started with those. Let me actually show you the books first. Okay, so you might recognize some of these because I unboxed them on camera last time, and then despite saying that I would do this more often, I vanished. Yeah, no explanation, once more. So The Orange by Wendy Cope, Restore Me by Tahira Mafi. I finished all of the Shatnami series. I do have the box set, but so since I am not Richie Rich, I have to utilize the storage space that I have the best that I can, and that includes putting 2 rows of my books. So I have the box set for Shatter Me, but it's behind some other books, so it's not really that convenient for me to take out the books every single time. So I just listen to them on audio. So Restore Me. So yeah, since I finished the entire series, I need to put this back. The Bell Jar, which is new. Need to find space. All About Love by Bell Hooks, also new. Girl Goddess Queen. This I got recently. It was quite a deal on Instagram, and well, yeah. I thought it might be a pirated copy or something, but I got this book for $100, and spray painted too. I was really surprised. And then Chain of Thorns, which we'll be putting next to Chain of Iron and Chain of Gold somehow. And then Am I There Yet? So I am in a little bit of a confusing, confounding, weird, funky, did I mention confusing place in my life, and this is a really comforting book to read. So I just pull this out to look at some of the artworks in here. Like, this is my favorite page. Prescriptions for a Broken Heart, for your eyes, mind, body, soul, hands, feet. I really like it. So it's really comforting to look back on. I thought I'd read the entire book, but actually I don't have the right headspace for that right now. So I'm just gonna put it back on the shelf. So a little bit about my shelves. This bookshelf itself, it's a, where is it from? It's from Wakeway, and typically this bookshelf does not have any glass here. So because we live in India and we have a lot of dust, like dust, I needed to have closed shelving so that I could store my books somewhat safely, and then could clean them less frequently. So we had this glass installed. And of course, the top shelf, as you can see, is like I've tried to make a rainbow shelf of sorts with paperbacks. Then here I have some of the fancier editions. Not to say that I don't have other fancy editions, some of them are right here, but some of the fancier editions, and I put them up on display. So one at a time, I pull out one book and I put one out as a display book. So right now that is Am I There Yet? The Loop-de-Loop Zigzagging Journey to Adulthood. I like saying the name of this book. Yep. So there we go. That's back there again. And yeah, this glass is a little finicky, doesn't close properly unless you pay attention to it. Yep. Alright. Then in this shelf, earlier, before the reorganization that I did recently, the lowest shelf also had rainbow books but hardcovers. But it wasn't really working out for me as a way of organization because there wasn't enough of gradient in it to call it a proper rainbow shelf, and it just wasn't working. I just wasn't vibing with it. So when I had the chance to do it all over again, I put up some books here from like series and stuff. So Where Dreams Descend, When Night Breaks, Chain of Fire and Chain of Cold. Chain of Thorns needs to be accommodated here. I have City of Bones and City of Ashes, and She Who Became the Sun and He Who Drowned this World. Then these two books I think I'll be moving. It's The Year of the Witching and Kingdom of the Wicked. Kingdom of the Wicked, while I have read the entire trilogy, I am not a fan of because the second and third books turned out to be way spicier than I expected, and I was actually, when I read the first book, I thought it was gonna be a fantasy, like a primarily a fantasy book, but it was more like a romantasy. There's fantasy romances and romance fantasies, right? I thought this would be more fantasy heavy, but the second and third book were mostly romance. The plot was there somewhere, it was there, but not in the way that I had expected. So I don't have copies of those. No, I do. I have Kingdom of the Curse, but I don't have the third one, and I've forgotten the name as well. But my copy of Kingdom of the Wicked is a signed copy, and I also have like another dust jacket over it, which was like wherever I bought it from were doing a box or something, so they had an additional dust jacket as a part of the box. Right. So that's a bit about the shelves, but we do need to find space for these 5 books here. I think I'll just quickly put away Restore Me, and then I'll turn on the overhead lights because I think it's getting too dark now, and then we can continue. Hi. I've been chatting for like 20 minutes, and for some reason I went back there to look at the recording and realized that I made a time lapse. I set my phone to time lapse to put the book away, and then for some reason I thought that it was back to normal recording, and I just made a time lapse. So quick updates. I'm not really that pressed about getting the paperbacks and the smaller version of the orange onto these shelves like in display because I can adjust them anywhere. However, I did want to reunite Chain of Thorns with Chain of Iron and Chain of Gold. So this is what we've come up with. I took out Kingdom of the Wicked and The Year of the Witching from this shelf. Then I just somehow managed to arrange them here. The Year of the Witching is next to Once and Future Witches, both wonderful books. And then I put the Kingdom of the Wicked next to the Kingdom of the Cursed. For this, I had to take out Midnight in Neverwood and The Lost Apothecary from these shelves. So now I'm trying to figure out if I should put them here somewhere, if I should like put them behind these books out of sight. I was actually gonna make a time lapse of me figuring that out, but here we are. So now you can watch me think in real time, or while I think in real time, I'll just play the time lapse that I've accidentally recorded, and see you soon. Okay, so all the books have been put away finally. I was filming a time lapse of me organizing the last of the books in here, but I got a call in between and I didn't realize because the sound of my phone was off, and I didn't realize that the video had stopped. So yeah, I've reorganized all the books and I'll just take you through what I've done. So after I put the Year of the Witching and the Kingdom of the Wicked here, I was left with The Lost Apothecary and Midnight in Everwood. So they're really gorgeous blue books. So I put them here. I tried to reorganize this so that it's a little bit of a gradient, or if not a gradient, something matchy. So I did that. Then I took out a couple of books from here. They are here in this bottom shelf. I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. I worked really hard to get these shelves. You know, when you grow up, you do realize that you do turn into your parents. You understand what they mean by when you'll grow up and get your own stuff, you'll understand. Yeah, because I got these shelves. I'm getting carried away. Right. So, Rebel Spy and the London Seance Society, they are both here. And then I reorganized it a bit so that I could make some space over here. I doubt that that's visible. Is it better with the door closed? I guess I'll figure it out when I watch it back, because I do need to put the furniture back the way that it was, because my family is gonna come home soon and I need to give them space to move around the house, because I've just we have a couch here for the time being, and because there's no space there, so I've smushed all the furniture together. Right, getting back on track. Girl Goddess Queen, The Bell Jar, You Are Not Good, You Are Not Enough, and That Is Okay, which is another book that I had lying around here, so I decided to put that in there. The Orange by Wendy Cope, The Orange and Other Poems, as well as The Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea. I've put these 5 books here because out of all the paperbacks that I had, I decided to put All About Love by Bell Hooks right here. I did try to figure out if I could put Girl Goddess Queen here, but the pink of that book is pretty different from these pinks, so it wasn't really fitting in the gradient anywhere, and I didn't want to break it apart very abruptly, so it's there. And the Bell Jar, though gorgeous, has a blue spine. I don't know if it's visible, I'll just pull it out and show it to you. Right, so the Bell Jar, gorgeous book. It has a blue spine, and I did try to fit it in over here, although I don't really have any space on my blue and green shelf. You might see some space, but that's just because I have lent out my copy of Under the Whispering Door to a friend right now. So I thought that I could put this on here in the interim and see how that feels. But this blue is again pretty different. These are like more of lighter pastelish ultramarine blues, and this is a grayish blue, like a more duller beigeish blue, if beige was a blue kind of blue. So this was also like looking very jarring over there, so I just made some space for it once and for all over here. And that's all the books put away. That's I just put this vase right back here while we talk. Right, so that's that. Now, I do want to make a TBR for December, although we are a week into the month, but the year is ending, and although I've met my reading goal, I want to read more. And it's not like I was reading simply to achieve the reading goal, right? I was reading, and there's more I want to read. And one of the troubles that I've been having recently is about what to read. I am just confused because I have too many options. So yeah, maybe I'll try to randomize my picks or something, or maybe I could go for the series that I have. Like, I really want to read the Raven Boys, but then I also really want to read Caraval, so that I can then move on to reading the Ballad of Once Upon a Broken Heart and the Ballad of Never After and that series. Yeah. Then I also want to read like Dark Academia, so I want to read Babel, I want to read The Familiar. I know it's not strictly Dark Academia, it's just here. I want to read the Atlas 6 trilogy, but then I also want to read the Poppy War trilogy, but then I also want to reread the Cruel Prince trilogy so that I can like have a refresher before I move on to the Stolen Air duology. Yeah, a lot of options. And then I also want to read a lot of non-fiction, and with non-fiction I want to make notes. So I just put all of this in another video for another time. But for now, the books are on my shelves. I'm happy with the way that they look. So if you're still watching, thanks for watching this bookshelf organization, not reorganization video. And hopefully I'll see you soon.